Hello everyone, good morning, good evening, welcome back. Welcome to Cloud and DevOps Batch 58. So before I start the session, I just want to give a quick recap on what's being covered in the previous session. Previous session, we implemented the project. We have taken the problem statements of what were the challenges that we would be facing. And along with that, in automation, okay, what type of automation, which technology to be selected. If you are dealing with OS commands, just go with the shell scripting. And if you're going with Python, Node.js, or Go language, then go with the bash scripting. And I also explained the detailed things about the development flow in our training, where we are going to develop the code locally, and then we'll publish the code to GitHub, and then we'll, from the server, we are going to pull it, and then we are going to take it from there. This is what we are going to do. And this is what we have seen, right? Okay, this is what we have discussed. So what I want to do is I want to take up any questions if you have any, and then we can take it up further. Any questions? Questions? You can ask questions if you have.
Yeah, I have question regarding spot instances.
Yeah, please ask
We
me.
made it persistent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if when the connection is made again, actually will the data remain or it will be lost?
If you terminate the instance and if the spot has came up as a part of the brand new instance, you will lose the data.
But this time Amazon AWS it will be generating, right? Since we made it persistent, so it will generate the new instance again and again. Will the data be remain?
You lose the data.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you lose the data. That's a
Okay.
brand new instance, just for your information.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Just make sure you practice it, give it a try. Okay. Don't just wait on what I said. Okay. Just give it a try.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Questions. Any other questions? All right. Let's get started, guys. Okay. So first, we should have some agenda. Okay. Without agenda, we cannot achieve anything. And also, this is my new computer, and on the top of the computer, I do not have the token. So what I'm gonna do is I'll go here and then we'll generate a brand new token. So this is how we generate a token, classic token, and generate a new token. And again,
Manoj, we are not able to see your screen. We are just seeing Miro screen.
okay, how about now?
Yeah, now it's.
Okay, now I would like to generate the token one more time because this is another computer. In this computer, this time I'm not going to share my token with you. The token which I have generated, I have already revoked it. Now this time I'll be using this token. So what I'm gonna do is my GitHub is integrated with MFA, multi-factor authentication. You can also do that. Okay, this is B58-002, B58 Mac. And I would like to go with 90 days, repo, workflow, array, related. Generate the token, copy the token. Now come here and open it. And again, few of them complain saying that they don't see the code command. If the code command is not there, that's totally fine. Okay, there is, it's just a command. If it doesn't work, you can also do one thing. Just open your Visual Studio Code. And once your Visual Studio Code is open, come here, open folder. You can come here and select the folder that you wish to open. This is the folder that I wish to open. Just say it. You'll get everything. Okay. So this is another way that you can do. So cd to batch 58. Okay. In case if you are interested about getting code, just say VS Code. Okay. Plus code command not working on Windows. Okay. So you'll get a Stack Overflow documentation. All you need to do is just open some terminal and run this. Okay. Install code in the path. So where do you need to run? Go here, come, terminal, view, command palette. So you need to run install code in the path. If you do that, you'll get that command. As simple as that, okay? Okay, all right. So do I git clone? So what is the repository that was created by us? B58 repository. Learn shell. Come here and try to make a clone. That's it. Now I would like to keep everything here, and also to test I need a server, so I'll go ahead. This time I'll be straight away. Okay, I'll come here and I'll select this instance and launch an instance from the template. That's it. Let's connect to the instance. SSH EC2-users 52, 55, 199 and 109. It looks like the server is not at all. It's still in the initializing phase. So guys, I want to prove one point first. Bash scripting is very easy. Okay, very easy. I'll prove how easy it is. Okay, though this is not at all recommended, the approach that I'm making, but let me try to show you. Okay, and expense is a folder, and in that I want to create a file, frontend.sh. So it really doesn't matter whether you give frontend.sh or frontend.bash or frontend.txt. It really doesn't matter. Shell don't care about the extension, but it is a standard practice. If you're writing some shell script, you keep this way. Okay, but even if you don't keep it, really doesn't matter. Now I'll prove shell scripting is very easy, very easy. Okay, so today, okay, I'll take an instance. Okay, and on the top, okay, what we are going to do is we'll create an instance. And on the top of it, we'll keep all three tires in a single VM just for the sake of automation. Okay. All right. So if you want to write bash scripting from the beginning, I'm telling bash scripting is just like getting all the commands, whatever you wish to automate, and put them somewhere. That's it. So for front end, what I need to do, I need to install Nginx, come, put, and then what I want to enable the Nginx, start, and then I want to start the Nginx, done. And then after it is completed, so you need to remove this, done. And then after download the repository, done. Okay. And then you need to enter into this directory, and then you need to unzip it. Okay, and then you need to unzip it. And then you need to have a file. Okay, this file, whose file is this? I'm gonna keep it as proxy.conf. Okay, and then you need to copy the file, okay, to this particular path. Okay, so if you are doing some action manually, the way you do will be different, and if you are doing it with through automation, the way you do will be different, right? Now back in this, back we are using vim command to open a file. If a file is not there, it's going to create a file. You can save the data, and then you are pasting because you are doing it as a human user interactively. But right now, you're not really doing interactively. You're doing automation. So I'm placing the file somewhere and asking it to copy. Okay, how to copy the file? CP, file name, proxy.conf. Okay, and then paste it here. Done. Okay, and then once it is done, just restart the Nginx. But okay, why do I need to first start the Nginx, again restart the Nginx here? I don't have to do it here, right? Just enable the Nginx and do the restart. Okay, just say echo front end installation is completed. That's it. Done. Shell scripting is done. So what I'm gonna do is I'll try to push the code. Okay, so I was always saying, so how to push the code? Git add dot git commit -m automating front end component git push. Come here and your instance would be ready. Go back to your instance, just say SSH. You should be able to connect. Password, enter the password. Since this is your brand new server, do you need to clone it first, right? So how do you clone it? Sudo set-hostname, just mention it as automation. Okay. Now try to make a git clone. So how do you do a git clone of it? Okay. So git clone cd to expense, cd to 001 front end, right? Okay. And cat 001 front end. Okay. But what I create expense, right? Okay. Come here. My scripts are inside cd expense, cd to expense, ls-ltr, and within that, where did I create learn shell? Oh, all right. Sorry, I cloned the wrong repo. Learn shell, right? Learn shell. Okay, ls-ltr, cd to expense, and this is where all my scripts are there. It's very simple. If you want to run a script, okay, if you want to run a script, how do you run? So if you want to run a script, this is how you run. How do we run scripts? Okay, bash script name. Okay, ensure you are on the path where the script exists. Okay, that's it. Or you can also run it through this way, /script name. Okay, ensure you are in a path where the script is there at this point of time. Okay, now bash frontend.sh. Now see, on this machine, it failed. Okay, why it failed? Can anyone tell me why it failed? Can anyone tell me why it failed? Anyone?
They are in the easy to use.
You need to
Yes,
use sudo.
exactly. That's a very good point. Yes, these commands are expected to be executed as a root user. So you need to do it as a root. So how to do that? Sudo
Root.
bash. Okay. Now this whole operation will be executed as a root user. Come here. So automation is always easy. A lot of people will think automation is very tough because you don't know how to automate manually. You don't know how to do manually. For example, if you want to create a washing machine or if you want to invent an washing machine, the person who invented the washing machine knew how to wash his clothes manually. So with his knowledge, he automated, right? So similarly, you know the process manually first, then only automation makes sense. You don't know things manually, and if you try to automate things, that's where the problems comes up. Always ensure you do it the right way by learning what is the manual approach. Then only you can do whatever is needed. All right. Clear? All right. And if you see this, can you see this? Something got failed. Something got failed. Can you see this? What is this? CP cannot stat, okay, proxy.conf file. There is no such file or error. That means it is not able to copy the file. Okay, it is not able to copy the file, but though it is not able to copy the file, it has restarted the Nginx and then it even came up here, right? Which is not a great way, which is not a great thing. So first I want to understand why it is not able to find the file, because the file is here itself. Okay. So how do you know in which directory you are in? How do you come to know in which directory you are in? Anyone? I'll prove shell scripting is very, very easy. Anyone? Anyone can tell me? How do you know in which directory you are in? Guys, come on, let's be interactive. How do we know?
PWD.
Yes. Okay, how to list the files? ls-ltr. So I'm gonna put it, yes, pwd ls-ltr. Try to add. Okay, again, try to every day git add, git commit, git push. It's going to be a painful task, right? I'll say I'll add some I'll add some common commit. Okay, auto push, git push. Okay, in the world of Linux, semicolon indicates end of the expression. So it's like I'm typing git add dot and then git commit this and then git push. So rather than me entering 3 times, I can do it in a single shot. Okay, but this is not a recommended approach at all, because in a day in and day out, I'm gonna do this 10 to 20 times, 100 to 200 times. So every time git add, git commit, git push, it's going to cost a lot of time. All right, I'm here and try to redo it one more time. So I made some changes. How can I get those changes? Anyone can tell me?
Git pull.
Exactly, git pull. So it's gonna get the changes. It clearly see there are some changes on this file and changes on this file. All of them are downloaded. Now I'd like to apply it. Using the up arrow. Up arrow indicates it shows you the old commands. Now let's wait. I'm wondering. Okay. So it says PWD, okay, is user share Nginx HTML. Ah, got it. So here, if you look at this, in the above, you're running a command called as cd share nginx HTML. And that's the reason the directory path went to this path. And that's the reason it is looking for proxy.com there. And that's the reason it didn't work. Okay, now you're clear how to troubleshoot? You got the hint? Anyone? Did you get the hint? Guys, did you get the hint now? So how
Yes,
can
ma'am.
we?
You have to give
Exactly.
CD.
Exactly. So what we can do is, again, we can give the complete path, or we can also run this command in the beginning itself. Okay, so add it. DNF install Nginx, enable the Nginx, do all these things at the end. That's all. And also one more problem statement. So here this command, when the command was here, this is a failure, but still this command executed, which is a very bad thing. Does it make sense? And if you ask, see, you take a movie script. What is a movie script will have? At this point of time, this should be happening, and after this scene, this should happen, and after this scene, this should happen. And it doesn't make sense, right? To talk about something before the events were not happened. Here in this case, this event itself is not completed, but still it restarted. That means if any of the command fails, for example, if this command fails, I don't want the next commands to be executed. I want the script to be failed then and there itself, which is not happening. Okay, that is also something I would like to fix. So come here and try to make a git pull. Run it and see how it works. Can you see this? Now it's completed, and now you go and try to access the website. You should be able to access it. Clear? Now you terminate the instance, whatever the instance that you have created. Let's terminate the instance. See how easy it will be. That is where people are heading towards automation. Now I'll create one more instance. Now it's easy for me because I have a template, and the templates help me to create whatever I want. Okay, proceed without a keeper, launch the instance. I terminated the instance and see it will not work because I terminated the instance, right? Let's see what will happen. Now this instance got launched. Okay, now let's wait. I'll show you how much easy automation will be. Okay. 116.240. Let's wait for it. All right. Let me show you how easy it will be. Okay. Now I created a brand new instance, and if I want to make a front end, all I need to do is, okay, so I just need to make a git clone, right? So come here and try to make a git clone. Linux nodes. Ready to expense. Okay, CD. What happened? Oh, learn shell. Okay. lsf-ltr. Okay. Sudo bash front-end. See, it will work out. Now you don't have to go run each and every command, wait whether it is working or not. It's very simple. Come, run it, it will work. Let's wait. All right, it's installing. See, you're really not doing anything. All you're doing is just correcting the dots. That's it. Okay, bash always makes life easy. Okay, so it's imperative. Without bash, things are not going to work. Okay, and always keep this point in mind. Okay, we'll see that. Okay, let's not worry on it. We'll see that. Okay. Okay, the next thing. What is the next thing? Okay, so installation is completed. I'll come here. I'll come and I'll hit this. It will work. See, that much simple it is. Okay, I'll show you how much things are easy. Right. Now, all you need to do is, so in the same server, okay, go to the expense app. So what is the next component? Again, we can do it on the 3 instances, but there is no point since we already know how to do it in 3 instances. I'm just showing it in one instance. Okay. Now I want to do it MySQL. Okay, so come here and try to do MySQL. All right. All right. Now, first thing is this one, right? Install MySQL server. And once it is done, and then this is done, start. and then configure the password. So MySQL is a very, very straightforward guy. You really don't have to worry about it. Just say echo MySQL installation completed. Okay. So you'll get the challenges if two applications are having the same port number. Okay. For example, Apache works on 80 and MySQL works on 3306 and your Node.js application is working on 8080. And if your Node.js application is also working on 8080, you cannot run two applications of same port number in the same server because the applications will be confused, right? So in my case, all three applications are on three different ports. I'm just taking the advantage to show you. Okay. So come here on the same server. I'm also configuring it. All I'm trying to do is just trying to prove how things are easy. Okay. Bash MySQL dataset. Now see, your MySQL will also be installed. Now you need to do it as a root user. Let's wait. Now you can see MySQL end of the file while looking for something. So it figured out some issues with this. So what is this? So let's try to understand. It says MySQL root password. What is the
Manoj, there
mistake?
is a double quotes at 50
Yeah,
point.
double quotes are missing. Yes. So this is called as a syntax issue. Okay. So if you open this, okay, echo, if you open a quote, okay, if you open a quote, you need to close it. Okay. If you open a open bracket, you also need to close a bracket. If you want to open a flower bracket, you need to close a bracket. And if you want to open a square bracket, you need to close. This is called as a syntax. Okay. That I missed it. All right. Try to push. You need to, whenever you make any sort of changes, you need to make a git pull. I'm using semicolon so that I don't have to run git pull once and sudo bash MySQL once one more time. Yeah. It's MySQL.sh. Push. Okay, can you see this password already set? You cannot reset the password with MySQL installation. MySQL installation is complete. So let's try to see whether it is really installed or not. Show databases. Perfect. So once it is done, what is the next thing that I need to do? Things are looking very straightforward, right? I'll show you. Okay. So let's go to the third part, which is the backend. So let's try to do it. First, let's do the backend. 003 backend. Okay, DNF module disable. Then enable 20. Okay, and then yum DNF install nginx-y that is going to offer you version 20. And then you need to create a user account. And then once the user account is created, you need to create a directory. And then once the directory is created, you need to curl to this, okay, which is going to download the file. And then when you try to run it, switch to the directory and then extract the content. Okay, and then you need to enter into this directory because you need to run the cd install, right? npm install, this generates the artifacts. And then you need to copy this file, right? So this is a backend.service file. Okay, and ensure you supply the IP address of the backend. But in our case, okay, our IP address is this. Okay, your front end, back end, and everything are on the top of the same server. You can alternatively keep localhost as well. Okay, localhost or 127.0.0.1. Okay, for example, you can say ping if you want to see whether something is operational or not, you can do a ping. Okay, whether you do the ping or whether you localhost, both are same. Okay, localhost is nothing but local, whom you are calling right now. Okay, so for now you can also keep localhost. Okay, now here for the backend, and then the next command that you need to do is you need to copy this file to here, right? So cp2 backend.service, and you need to put here. But if you look at this, you are already inside this directory, and inside this directory, backend.service won't be there. So the easiest way is do it here. Okay, we already learned this trick, right? All right. So the next thing what I need to do, and once it is done, change the permissions of this. Okay, can anyone tell me why am I changing the permissions to expense? Anyone? Why am I changing the directory of this? Anyone? Anyone?
To avoid authentication issue.
Sorry?
Authentication issues to avoid.
No authentication, nothing. What are the authentication issues that would come? No, nothing.
We are giving the right access to that file, right? 777 file.
You are giving access to the service
Fine.
account.
Yes.
What is the purpose? What is the service account, and why do I need to change the ownership to that particular application? Anyone?
So that everyone can use by using that service ID.
No, Ravi, you asked the same question yesterday. I explained it. Think
Yeah,
what I told you yesterday.
Password never expires.
One more thing, not really regarding password. If I configure this
Service.
application with a
Yeah.
Ravi user
Yeah.
account, if Ravi
Yeah,
leaves the
yes.
project, what will
Yeah,
happen
exactly.
to
Exactly. That's what I told. Everyone can use it. I mean, if I'm not there, can use
What
it,
do you
right?
mean by everyone can use it? No,
By
everyone can use
using
it. No,
by using that service account.
no, don't say that. If you know the answer, that's fine. But the way you're conveys differently. Okay, you need to say
Okay.
service accounts are meant to run the applications with an account rather than running with your user. Okay.
Exactly.
Yesterday, someone has asked me, why do you even need to create a user account? Root is a system account. Root is a default account that will be there forever, right? If you configure the application with a root user account, the root user account will have indefinite permissions. For example, if the application says, if the application has some false logic, and if the false logic is having a superpower, it can destroy the system. It's just like giving a gun to a mad person. He'll play with it, right? So that's the reason application should never ever be configured with a root account. Instead, create a service account and give the needed permissions and the ownership so that even if the user leaves the organization, the service account will still remain the same. Okay. That's the idea behind it. All right. So yeah, next install the MySQL server so that we can inject the schema. Okay, in my case, this is going to be the local host. Okay, because this is available in the same server, and then do a daemon reload. Do a daemon reload, enable the service, and then start the service. Okay. All right. So the next thing that you need to do is here you already made it as a local host. That's totally fine. Then that's it. Push the code. Your backend will also be ready. Now you can see backend.service is downloaded, backend.service is there. Now DNF module disable Node.js, and then installing, configure the Node.js 20 and install Node.js and making npm install. And if you see, access denied. Okay. Access denied. What is that? Read the error one more time. What it says, access denied for the user root, because using the password is something that's not supposed to use. Okay. That means there is some issue. You should not use this like this, it seems. Right. So what's next you need to do? What is the error? What do you need to do? Okay. So you can also give the IP address. If you are wondering why I'm using localhost, you can also do that. Okay. Get well. And if you see this, when you're running it for the second time, what is the error that you got? Can anyone read this? Can anyone read this? I just typed Control C to come out. So when you try to run it for the second time, what it is really saying is, okay, first it tried to unzip. Okay, and if you look at this, it tried to unzip, and later it realized, okay, in the same file it has, okay, so you unzipped the directory, and that /tmp has the backend directory that is already in place. Okay, and if you come here and if you try to see this, it already has the directory whose name is backend.zip. Now you're trying to download one more time, and that's the reason it says, hey, it's already there. Okay, so that's the reason you are getting. Can you see this? It clearly says, hey, you're trying to download, unzip the backend.zip, but in the same place, I can see the config.js, all these files are there. Do you wish to override it? Do you wish to replace them? Yes, no, or do you wish to replace everything? So that means if the file is already there, you will get this error. So for that, what is the way that we can fix? Okay, you can use something called as unzip-o. O stands for override the files. Okay, so come here and let's see that. Also, I mentioned DNF install Nginx. Why Nginx? It's Node, right? Come here and try to run it. Now try to run it. See what will happen. I want to give you the enough confidence that bash and scripting are very, 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 very easy and simple. All right, let's wait. All right. Now, if you see this, it's completed. Now come here and try to see, show the databases. I just want to see whether the schema is really injected or not. Can you see this transactions database is there? Now what I want to do is I'll exit from here. I'll try to see whether I'm able to make the transactions or not. Okay. So come here and try to add an expense. 150 car. See, you should be able to add, right? That means even if you trash the server and if you try to create it, it completes in a single go. That's the idea behind it. All right, clear? See, you can think, hey Manoj, you're lying. It's not going to be that much easy. How come you made things are so much easy, right? So doing things are very, very easy. Okay, but doing things in a right way is very important. So there are a couple of things: requirements, functional requirements, NFR versus FR. Okay. You need to understand a couple of points. These are very, very important when you are talking to in a managerial context. These terms are quite used. Okay, so typically doing a task, okay, functional requirement. Non-functional requirement. Okay, non-functional requirement is also referred as a NFR. Okay, so the difference between non-functional requirement versus functional requirement is, okay, learning a car. If I ask you to learn a car, hey, do you know how to drive a car? If I ask you, do you know how to drive a car? Okay, functional requirement, know how to drive a car. No, driving a car. Non-functional means Non-functional requirement involves knowing rules, when to stop, when to start, which side of the road to go, renew the car tag, emission check, VIN number. So that means knowing a car versus driving a car is different, right? So what we did is a functional requirement. I want to automate this, you did it. Functional requirements are very, very easy. Okay, like if you are driving a car, you say that I'm driving, but a lot of things are involved around, right? You shouldn't drive in the left side of the road or right side of the road based on the country you're staying. And you need to have a proper driving license, and you should make sure you were not under influence when driving. And then a lot of rules and regulations comes up into picture, right? And these are called as the non-functional requirements. So when coming to the non-functional requirements, a lot of things comes up into picture. Okay, so when you're talking about the non-functional requirements, certain aspects needs to be considered into picture. Okay, what are those? Okay, so what are those is you need to keep the code dry. What do you mean by code dry? Okay, so in code, in programming, there are, okay, when you're coding something, understand, okay, dry versus wet code. Okay, non-functional requirements, any coding standards should, okay, it's never like doing a task just is like just doing it. Okay, you should know, follow some standards. Code should always be dry. That means there should be no repeatable code. And if you are doing something for more than once, you shouldn't write it more than once. You need to use it in an efficient way. Okay, secrets should not be hard coded in the code. All right. Okay, that means usernames and passwords should never be inside the code. No. And when you run the code for the second time, it should not fail. When you run the same code more than once, it should not fail. Okay, these are the standards or the non-functional requirements that each and every automation should follow. Okay, so in programming paradigm, there are two patterns: dry code versus wet code. Okay, dry versus wet code. These are the standards that everyone has to follow: dry versus wet code. Okay, do not repeat yourself. Dry versus wet are software development principles that refer to how the code is written. When someone say dry, that means do not repeat yourself. That means if there are any patterns of code that is repeating, identify a logic that can help you write once and use multiple times. Wet code is like if the same pattern of code is being there multiple times, this is referred as a wet code. For example, in our code itself, okay, if in our code itself, I am downloading this pattern is similar, right? And if you download this pattern is also different. All it changes is that's all, right? And also you're starting a service, restarting a service, enabling the service. That means out of these 9 words, only these values are changing, right? When you compare with this versus with this, you really don't have to do it those many times, right? So how can we make these requirements functionally aligned is a very important task to achieve. Okay, that is one thing I would like to talk more and more. Okay, I want everyone, I know a lot of people are way behind the practice. Okay, make sure you practice these things and be inclined to it. Okay, so we should have some agenda when we are learning something. So let's try to have some agenda. Okay, before that, anyone has any questions? Anyone has any questions before I proceed? Go ahead. Go ahead. I can hear you. Venugopal, Harish. Sorry?
How we have connected to Git server our to Linux server actually by using which authentication actually I was not able to see the screen at that time.
I think you missed one statement yesterday. Let me try to add the point.
No, by pulling, so we have used the key, any
hold on,
key.
hold on.
Yes,
That's a very good question, but I want to explain it. Give me an opportunity.
yes,
Okay.
sure.
Here, if you see this, how to authenticate from GitHub from your computer, right? And also
Okay.
public versus private repo. If the repo is public, in our case, ours is public, anyone can
Yes.
download or clone the code without any authentication. If the repo
Okay.
is public or private, only the owner or the team who has access can publish. The statement mean anyone can download the code. That means you really don't need any authentication. Why? Because it is a
Okay.
public repository. For example, I have another repository, come here, which is private. Okay. So there are some private repositories as well, which I have.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. There is an important LinkedIn jobs. Okay. Can you see this? This is a
Yes.
private repository. I'll try to download it. Okay. Come here and try to download it. See what will happen. It asks me a username and password. Did you see this?
Yes.
But
Right.
when I try to do the other one, is it asking? No. Why? Because it is a public repository. Clear?
Okay. Yes, clear. Yes.
All right.
Got it.
Any questions, anyone?
But in organization, in real environment, we will use the organization for private repository, right?
Yes.
In
Yes.
organization.
Yes. At that time, how will you do is your question?
No.
Is that what your question?
No.
Okay.
This is
If I
new question. Yes.
okay. No, if I ask you the same question, what will be your answer? If in organization, if you want to download a private repository, how will you do that? I'll ask you the same question. Think. It's not a
Yes.
challenge. Okay. Think, and I already
By
gave the
giving
solution.
credentials.
That's it. That's it. Or how you are authenticating from your computer to GitHub. Come on, come on. Rachit, come on, think. If you don't answer
But
in a minute, I'll answer that.
What is your question?
actually, not.
Okay.
Yes.
My question is, so Rachit's question is, if it is a public repository or private repository, you're authenticating from your computer to GitHub, but when you're making a pull, you're able to do it because the repository is public. But what if if my company is using a private repository, obviously everyone uses private. How can I download the code from the GitHub to the server is his question. How can I make a git pull or git clone, which requires a password?
Right.
That's what his question. I'm asking, okay, I'll ask you the same question. What do you answer is my question to him.
So I think they will create a team for under organization.
It's very simple. You gave the PAT or not, personal access token or not.
Yes.
You will use the same thing, right? Why do you even need to talk about anything else?
Okay. Yes.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Username will be this, coding Manoj, and enter the password. That's all. Game over, right? Makes sense. End of the day,
Yes.
your computer and Linux server is also both of them are servers. Your server and GitHub is also a server, right? So it really doesn't matter. It's just like entering the username and password from your computer versus your office computer. Both of them are same, right? End of the day, they're computers. Make sense?
So one thing, this will be same. Personal access token will be same. All team members, all developers, we can say, right?
I'll ask you the same question. Your username and password and everyone in the organization username and password are same?
No.
Then
Sorry. Yes,
how?
got it.
How?
Okay.
What is the idea behind authentication and authorization? People should know
Yes. So
who is
it.
doing what and who is
Yes.
supposed to do what, right?
Right.
Don't
Got
get
it.
confused. It's very straightforward,
Yes.
okay? I'm
Okay.
questioning you so that you'll think and you'll understand. Okay, Rachit, clear?
Yes. Yes, clear. Thank you.
All right. So let's try to have some agenda for our Linux learning. Okay. So learn shell. Let's try to have some agenda. Okay. So let's try to have some agenda. So following are the bash scripting topics which we'll be discussing as a part of our project. Okay, these are the list of topics that we are going to talk in our bash scripting. Okay, learning is not just learning all the time. It's all about learning things in a right way. Okay, so with that, I want to start the session with these aspects in mind. Okay, unless until you have no questions, I would like to proceed, or if you think that it is too much for today, or you can also take a break. Anything is fine. Are we good so far? Also,
So let us complete this task actually.
Which task?
Practice this task, Manoj. Actually, it's I can say that it's now too much complicated.
Okay. Right.
Too much complicated for me because everything is new for me and I need to do a lot of practice.
Again, I'm telling you, this is just a trailer. If you're thinking that this is itself is too much,
because I have not gone through even one time in my
Sumit, I'm telling you one more time. This is just a trailer.
Okay.
Not even trailer, teaser. Okay.
Yeah, I think I need to do some more hard work.
I told you in the beginning itself, right? So day by day, we'll learn more and more, more and more. I'll make sure you get the words that you haven't heard, which are highly important. All these things I'll try to bring it up. All right. So yeah, okay, that's okay. Practice this. But one thing, I'll leave you guys for today. But from Monday, sessions are going to be little tight. Okay. So can you use the next 2 days for practice? If you give the commitment, I'll stop. If not, I'll take 30 more minutes of session. Can you guys promise me on it?
Yes, man.
Yes, agree,
Yes,
Manoj.
All right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna let you guys go with a note that you wanna practice. And from Monday, without any deviations, even if one person says I'll be staying, rest of them dropping, I'll still continue 1 hour 30 minutes class. Okay, make sure you align with yourself. Okay, if you just learn basics, you will not get job, trust me. Okay, and if you just want to learn basics, you have Udemy. A lot of things are there. So yeah, just be aligned. All right, thank you guys. That's it, that's for today. And if you have any questions, people having any questions, stay on, rest of them can drop. And you guys have promised me that you're gonna practice them and be up to the mark. Let's ensure we stand on it.
Hello.
Yes. Sumit, I saw your question. What is git bash? Can't we execute the same git pull, git push from command prompt itself? You can execute it, but you need to install the git on the top of it. Okay. Git bash offers you git commands. Okay. So it's just like if you want to watch a movie using the VLC player, you need to install VLC player, right? Same like that.
Okay.
All right. Perfect.
Manoj, one thing, in organization, we will not allow to all ports, right?
Again,
to
okay,
all
hold on.
instance, right?
I want you to come out of organization.
Okay, so in production environment.
No. First, hold on. First, let's learn what is going on.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know whether you followed what I said yesterday or not.
Okay.
I know what you mentioned. I already tracked this point. What are the areas of improvement? Security group allowing all the ports and is a very bad thing, right? Where in organizations we don't do.
Yes.
But I mentioned that we took all the points and we are working towards one of the problem statement that you guys came up. Configuration management is manual that I want to automate it. I picked this point. Down the line, I'll pick one more point. Down the line, I'll pick one more point. Like that, we'll identify the problem statements and we'll put those styles and we'll work towards it.
Yes.
Okay. That is the approach that I'm heading towards.
So one thing, we have to open, if all ports are not allowed, then we have to open the ports for Git also, since it will not be able to download.
Your network team will take care. That's not your job.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So tools are not maintained. Git, okay, Artifact. These are the kind of tools that you don't maintain. Each and every company will have a team called as a tools team. They will take care of it. You're not you don't have to. Okay, You are hired to not just to do the tools job. All right.
Okay.
They will take care of it. Technically, in companies, they have a service desk. You'll raise a request that I'm not able to access it. They'll take care of it. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Manoj. Hello.
Yeah, Shailaja, please go ahead.
Yeah, actually, yesterday I was trying to create the Git a profile, but it was asking for the project, create a project or import your first project.
Git, which project you're referring?
No, in the while signing up for the Git.
You don't have to. Just watch the video one more time.
No, whenever I'm opening it is asking the same thing again and again.
Share me the screenshot, what you're referring. I'll stay in front of the system or after the session.
Okay, I will share it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Anything else, anyone? All right. That's it then. Thank you very much. And we're going to meet on Monday. For people who are joining from States, it's Sunday night. All right. That's it. I'll stay in front of the system for the next 30 minutes. If anyone has any sort of lab questions, just feel free to buzz me. Okay. Thank you. Signing off.